Hey y'all, it's Erin. It's that time again, Q&A time. I've chosen 5 questions to go ahead and answer for you this week. The first one comes from Robin. She asks, I was wondering, do you stay in the lower rep range, 5 sets of 8 to 10 reps during the entire competition prep, or do you go up to higher reps when it gets closer to a competition? I was told I should be doing reps of 20 when I start leaning out, but I'm afraid I'm going to lose muscle. Robin, that's a great question. I do typically stay within the lower rep range, and I will do between 3 to 5 sets of 8 to 12 reps usually, and then sometimes I'll superset, and then this week, for example, I'm doing a pyramid of 10, 8, 6, and then sometimes 10, 8, 6, 4, and just going as heavy as I can on the last set, and that's just to kind of mix things up. I will do reps of 20 on certain exercises, and then also week of contest I'll do reps of 20, and that's just basically to deplete the glycogen stores in the muscle. It kind of depends on where you are and your contest prep. If you need to burn extra calories, then you could just go ahead and do the higher reps. If your nutrition is good and you're not doing a ton of low intensity cardio, then you should be okay. But I would definitely trust your trainer if that's what they want to do, and if that's your first show, then see how it goes, and you may decide you like it, and then you may decide that you want to stick to lower rep range. The next question comes from Kristen. She asks, I'm about 4 months from my first show, and I'm new to those hunger pangs. My trainer told me I can fill up on non-starchy veggies and I won't gain fat. So this has helped tremendously in the past 2 to 3 months. Once I get closer to a show, I know I'll have to cut down on those because I retain water. What do you do to help get past those hunger pangs weeks before a show? Another great question. And I'm looking at the time frame here, Kristen, and if you've been hungry for the past 2 to 3 months and now you're still 4 months from your show, I'm just wondering how long your contest prep is. So, unless you're trying to drop a lot of weight, you shouldn't really be hungry for that amount of time or prepping for that amount of time for a show. So, that being said, there are a number of ways to get past hunger pangs, and the few that help me are hot tea. Also, chewing gum helps. Then I'll also drink like a seltzer water or club soda, maybe put a little bit of stevia in it. Also timing my proteins. At night I'll do casein and maybe like an egg protein, something that digests a little bit slower so that I'm not hungry right before bed. And then just trying to keep your mind off of it. So if you can read a book or do something to just divert your attention for a little while, you'll find that you can get through those next 2 hours until your next meal. So hopefully that helps. The next one comes from Paige. She asks, can I increase muscle mass effectively by training each group once a week? I try to hit everything twice a week, but will I still get a benefit from once a week? Also, is doing ab and glute work of some kind daily okay? I feel better when I hit these daily, even just a little. Paige, that's like 3 questions, but that's okay. We'll go through all of them. Yes, you can effectively increase muscle mass by training each muscle group once a week. That's what I did for quite a while, and I saw really great results with that, because if you're hitting them with enough intensity, you're going to need a few days just to get that recovery in. If you're hitting something twice a week, if you're hitting back twice a week, and then you're doing arms twice a week, you're actually hitting your arms when you're doing back. So you may not get enough recovery, which may hinder your muscle growth. So maybe switch to one muscle group per day, per week, and see how that treats you. And then, let's see, you want to know about ab and glute work. I've heard of people doing abs every single day, not so much on the glutes. You might have a risk of overtraining if you do that. So I would just be careful and just train glutes whenever you train legs. And then also know that if you're sprinting, you're really recruiting those glutes too. So hit the track, hit the stadium, sprint up some stairs, and do it that way rather than doing it on, like the butt blaster or something like that. So don't be afraid to take a rest. That's when your muscles grow. So recovery is very, very important. Rob Keith asks, what are some of the pros and cons of using creatine? I think some of the pros of using creatine are that it helps increase muscle mass. I feel a little bit stronger when I take it. And then, of course, some of the cons of using creatine is that if you're taking creatine monohydrate, a lot of people can't assimilate it, so it makes you hold water. So, I'll notice whenever I start taking creatine that I'll hold a little bit of water. But I know it's temporary, and I know that the pros definitely outweigh the cons for me. So, give it a try. Maybe it'll work for you. The last question comes from Priscilla. She asks, Erin, do you suffer from weight rebound after your competitions? If not, what do you do to prevent it? Any tips on staying lean after? That's a really good question. I think that everybody will gain a little bit of weight right after a show, simply because you're depleting that last week, and that as soon as you have your one cheat meal after your show, you're going to eat salt, you're going to have carbs, you're going to have some things that you probably haven't had in the last couple of weeks, so you're going to hold water. So when you step on that scale on Monday, you may be 5 pounds, or more over what your weight was when you weighed in before your show. That's normal, that's okay, and just know that that's temporary as long as you get back to your regular balanced diet. So what I would do, and what I do, is continue to wake up the next week, and I'll do some type of cardio in the morning, and I don't ever quit the gym cold turkey. I never go off the wagon for more than a day. So just do things in moderation, and that's how you can really prevent a rebound. The other thing too is watch your contest prep. Make sure that you're not doing more than 6 to 8 weeks of contest prep, because in my opinion, when you go over that and you're depriving yourself and you're having to drop so much weight, then you really run the risk of rebound later, because you have been depriving yourself, and now that you can eat, you're going to try to eat everything in sight. Another tip that I would recommend is try to schedule a photo shoot or something where you're in a bathing suit a couple of weeks after your show. That'll keep you motivated to keep the weight off and just kind of, maintain an even keel. So those are the questions for this week. I hope that helped. So until next week, keep training hard, y'all.